Hello, welcome to this video. So in today's video, we're just going to look at Stripe subscriptions in Next.js. And at the end of the video, we're going to build this application and I want to show you the demo right away. So there are about 4 things we are going to cover, like how to get price IDs from the Stripe dashboard, how to set up the Stripe checkout with the price ID, how to create the checkout endpoint, and how to set up the webhooks and testing them locally. So first of all, if you try to access the pricing component, which is a person can go and subscribe. So if you click on pricing, we are using Clark authentication for adding the authentication in the application. I'm just going to go ahead and sign in. Okay, quickly, just like that. Okay, so now you can see I'm logged in right now. As you can see, now I can access my pricing component. I can just go ahead now. I subscribed any of these packages, so you can just go ahead and click like this one of 99. And if you go down here, you can see we are processing, please wait. And this one takes us to this, and you can see subscribe to company, and this is the package, $99 per month. And then you can see we are already auto-filling the client's email, and now we can just go ahead and use the test mode, which is 424242 2424242. Okay, and then here just going to put then like 2019, and then here just say 123. Put any name here, and then just say subscribe process. Okay, so this is processing. Okay, and you can see this is done. So at this point you have here, and on this we have access to the session ID, and we have also access to the user ID on this page, so you can also use them in your database, and you can say thank you for subscribing. So basically this is what you're going to be building in our next two hours. We're going to be building this from scratch. Just giving you, and I'm just going to give you access to the code at the end of the video. And yeah, if you're just happy and we want to dive in, let's get started together. Hello everyone. So in today's video, we're just going to look at how to implement Stripe subscriptions in your Next.js app. So in one of the videos I made previously was actually adding Stripe checkout in an e-commerce format of website, whereby you can automatically add products to the dashboard. And I made that video some weeks back, and I promised that in the next video we'll be looking at Stripe subscriptions. So if you just go on my YouTube channel, and make sure you have subscribed. So, and then you just come here and just search for Stripe. So you will see that I have one video, okay, about Stripe checkout, and this one is a guide of Stripe, how to add it in a more granular format for the e-commerce format, whereby products are bought once, like it is a one-time purchase. But then in this today's video, we just want to look at why you are purchasing products. The members are paying at a monthly basis or per year or for per specific period of time, and that is the subscription format. So just going to walk through a step by step on how to implement this. Now I made a documentation on how to use this. We have a documentation for the Stripe checkout, and this is for the Stripe subscription. Now I might say, if I have myself, I haven't used this documentation to implement. I just made it just a today. After making it, I was like, okay, let me just go and see if we can just implement this. So just going to follow this, and I've also prepared a starter. So this one, while we create an empty, we're not going to create an empty Next.js. Instead, I'm just going to leave this repo, which has a starter with Clark and Shad. So we're just going to go ahead and clone this. I will just go and try to clone this here. Git bash. I'm just going to say git clone, and then let me just go ahead and paste my repository. You can just name it anything, maybe for instance, Stripe subscriptions, just like this. And then we just clone into that. I'm just going to cd into Stripe, and just going to say code dot, and this will open it in VS Code. And then I'm just going to open the terminal and install npm install. So as it is installing, just simply create .env file. So I will just create the .env file, and in this file I will head to Clark. So you can just head to Clark here .com, and you're just going to simply go to, I think, to the dashboard and get the API keys. So I will just get into one of these apps here I have here. I'm just going to use this one. And then I can just simply scroll to where I have API keys, and I'm just going to simply copy my API keys and put them in the env file. Okay. Okay, so I've added my env here. I've added my keys, the keys from the Clark. This is going to enable us to have authentication. So I'm just going to start this npm run dev, just like this. I'm just going to go to localhost 3000, localhost 3000, just like this. So you just see what we have so far. As I've said, please, I want to thank those who have subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. If you have not joined the WhatsApp group, please just go ahead and join. The link will be in the description. And also, if you haven't seen the course, you can also just go ahead and check out the course. It is really amazing. So it would be just really nice if you just went out and checked out the course about Next.js, what we are doing really advanced concept over there. Okay, so moving on, this is the project, how it looks like. You can see here, I already signed in. I can just go ahead and sign out. Okay, and you can see here, they bring you this button here, which says sign in. Okay. So the only protected page is these pages are not there. The products and features, the only page we have is the pricing. So if I click on pricing and you are not logged in, you are going to be taken to sign in. Make sure you add your API keys, it will simply work. Okay, so now you see, if I sign in, they give me access to this, whereby I can manage account, sign out, and so on and so forth. So this is the most important page we need. So going to this page, I'm just going to go to this page. It is in the front pricing page. Okay, so here I'll just like testing having the how you can get a current user, and I'm just going to also remove these things I was testing with here. Okay, just like this. Okay, great. So basically I have the plans. There are three plans, and the starter, the company, and the enterprise. These three plans here, they're the plans you're seeing on here: starter, company, and the pricing. And they have this get started button. And I got this component actually from Flowbyte here. And I think I have to specify one more thing. If you go to the code, go to the tailwind, just simply extend colors. Just going to extend colors for it to be able to pick the buttons. I'm just going to go to the tailwind config, extend colors. Okay, we already have primary. Okay. We already have this one extending to primary. If we just put like this, not just like that. Instead, um, extend colors. Okay, this one is actually colors. Oh, we already have colors, and then our primary. Okay, so we have this primary like this. Okay, so there is one primary for shard, I guess. Just put a comma here. Now we have two primaries, so maybe this one I make it tertiary or something, just to maintain the ones of shard. So I've made this one tertiary, and if I go to my pricing page, I will say Control F primary. Whatever primary is, I'm just going to say Control H, and I replace it with tertiary. Sorry. And you could just say copy the one you have just added here to make sure that the spelling is the same. I'll just come back and replace. Okay, so now we should just have our this one picking up just like this. Okay, great. So you can see we have a nice looking pricing component. Now what we want is to actually add the actual subscription. If someone clicks onto these buttons, they should actually take someone to the Stripe checkout and they subscribe to this component. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and try to follow this. So make sure you also install this, and I believe they also gets installed. You can just go ahead and install this here, like this. npm install Stripe, and then get Stripe API keys. So we can just go to your Stripe and log in. Make sure you're logged in to Stripe, and then just go to developers, and then just go to the API key. So we have two API keys. If you just look at the documentation, you need to have the Stripe. So I'm just going to first copy these. I will also just first hide. Okay, so I've added in my environmental variables, I've added these two keys, and you can find them here. This the publishable key and the secret key. I have them. So for this Stripe secret key, it is this secret key. And then for the next Stripe public key is this publishable key. Okay, so those are the two keys I've added in the environmental variables. So moving on, you can also create a lib folder where we get this instance of Stripe. Okay, you can export this instance. For instance, in the libs, we can just go in the lib folder here and create, for instance, get stripe.ts, and you can just paste this. Okay, and of course you're supposed to import this from Stripe. Okay, you're supposed to get this from Stripe. Yes, so you can say import Stripe from Stripe. You don't know. Okay, API version type. This is not signable to type. Okay, type this. You not signable, type this here. Okay, maybe we just simply put this. Okay. Okay, so after putting that, so this version I've changed it, as you can see, at 1024.06.20, not this one. Okay, then add the subscription plans. So in the Stripe dashboard, in the left, navigate the products, product catalog, select add a product in order to create the subscription. Copy the price ID and we'll use it later. So I for each of these, we need a price ID. So as you can see here, we have the starter plan, the company, and this one. So basically, each of this one becomes a product. So you have to go to Stripe and you manually create these products and then extract you extract their price IDs. Now, we're not going to do it like automatically. When you click here, it creates the product the way we did in the checkout, because in the checkout there are so many products you couldn't just create one by one. But in this case, you have, for instance, 3 plans, and you can just simply create this. You don't have to create this every time someone clicks. So you can just go here and you can search, I think, for products, and you can just say create product. So you have to create basically these products, for instance, starter, the same names you gave them, starter. We don't have images, which is optional. Description is also optional. Now there's a pricing information here and the pricing model, standard pricing, and you can see it is recurring. Okay, there is one time and then there is recurring. So we live on this recurring, and this one is $29. So I just come in and put 29. Okay, $29, as simple as that. Okay, and then I will tell you the billing period is monthly. They have monthly, weekly, and all that. Usage is metered, and I think that's the only thing you need to do. So you see, you can even add another price, because, for instance, if this had the switcher, okay, if this component had a switcher, like here you have switch between monthly and, if you had to switch between monthly and yearly, so this plan would have two pricing IDs. So you would just come here and add another one. Okay, you would go ahead and add another price, and then you choose maybe yearly. That's how you can add the pricings. So after doing that, I'm just going to save this product. Okay, So you can see the product is here. Now we need to copy its price ID. Okay, now the price ID is here as they are saying. This is the product ID, guys. Make sure you don't copy the product ID. We need the price ID. A new price code. So I think this is view more. Need to have the actual price ID. The product is here. This is the price. Where do we get the price? Let's just first go here, the documentation. Copy the price ID of the plan. So, and here do not copy the product ID. So it should be a price ID. I want to believe I can find it. Okay, I think when you just click on this, okay, I'm very sure the price ID is this one, as you can see on top here. I don't know if that is the best way to get the price ID, but as you can see, price for this, the price ID is here, and the same thing here. So you're just going to copy this. Okay, as you hover here, you can say copy ID. Now I will just come to our page in the pricing. Here, I'm just going to add so you have this normal price. So you can just say also Stripe price. So this is this is going to be price ID. You can just even say price ID, and then you just add this, just like this. Okay, price, not pride, price ID. So let's go ahead and create the second product. I will just go back to add, create. Let's go to developers, products, just product, create a new product. Now I'm just going to create another product, company. Okay, so just create this company. Okay, create company, and this one has $99. This one actually has $4.99. Just a second. This has $4.99. This one company has 99, so I'm just going to go ahead and create standard pricing, monthly, just like that. The name is company. Okay, so that's it. I just need to add here 99 and just simply say product, and you can just click on this, and we can just copy the price ID just like this. So this one is for company here. Just going to add price ID, price ID. Okay, price ID is this. Okay, and finally, let's get the price ID, the last one. I'm just going to get a price ID for the enterprise. So just go ahead and create product. Okay, this is enterprise. Okay, just simply add the price $4.99, and then monthly. Guys, if you're just adding monthly and yearly, you just simply add another price. You don't need to create another product, just simply add another price. Okay, and then save product. Okay, and then we just go here, get its price ID. And I'm just going to come here and I add the price ID. price ID, and just like this. I'm just going to add a comma here. So for each product, you can see we have added the price ID. Just going to drop this down. So I have the price IDs for each of those ones. Moving on with the documentation, then now we create a subscribe component. And if you see the subscribe component, you need to have, this is another pricing. You're not using this one. I just created mine. So under all circumstances, what we just want is to make sure we have our price IDs. Okay. So now we have this button here, which is going to be handling the click, which is this. In our case, it is this one. So we have to convert this from a link into a button. Okay, I'm just going to just go here. We have to convert this, okay, into a button, which is very easy. Just simply just make it a button, remove the href. That's the only thing you need to do, just like this. Now if you go back, this is now the same thing, but this time it is a button. Great. Now one more thing I just need to do. Okay, so just going to remove this current user. We're just going to use this one in a moment. I'm just also going to remove this. I'm just going to remove also these ones. Okay, so what I just want to do, I just need to make this a use client. Okay, if I wanted, I could create another component, but I'm just going to leave into this one. Okay, even this async, I've removed it. So I want to make this one a use client, and the reason why I'm making it a use client is simply I want to add an on click, right? So I just want to use a use client so that we can't just have a function which is going to handle Stripe. So just have here like a function handle Stripe. Okay, just like this. And let's just say this one takes in the price ID, just like this, which is a string. And let's just go here and just going to console.log the price ID. Okay, price ID. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and add this on this here. So on click for this one, on click, I'm just going to click handle, just going to say handle. Now that the fact that we are passing in something, we have to call it like this, handle Stripe, and then pass in the plan dot price ID, just like this. And let's go to the console to see if we have the plan ID for each of them. Okay, so just go here in the console, clear everything. I will just go like this, and I will just click on this. So you can see for each, we just get the price IDs. You can see, and lastly, even this one, we get the price IDs. Okay. So now we need to create this handle checkout. Okay. So basically, as you can see here, also on this one, on click, handle checkout is passing in this here. Okay, is passing in some information, most especially the price ID. Now for us, we have the one for the monthly only. You can see if is checking here. If is yearly, you pass the price ID yearly. And if it is monthly, he passes price ID monthly. This is to show you if you're having the one for this. And if you could just, if wanted, you could also copy this component. It is really working, but I just decided just to make it another one from scratch so that we can just use this. Okay, so now let's just look at the handle checkout function because that's the most important one. Handle checkout, and the handle checkout function is going to be here. Okay, so you can see here in the pricing as this, then there is this function handle checkout as you can see here. Okay, and here there is this, we're going to see this function Stripe promise. It is something you can just like define on top here, the Stripe promise. Okay, load Stripe. No suggestions. Let's see, where do you get this from? Okay, just from Stripe.js. Okay, so I'm just going also to have this like this. Okay, so this one comes from Stripe.js, not Stripe. Okay. Okay, so still in this, we are sending just looking at this function here, handle Stripe. You can see that you're just getting we are sending a request to a checkout session. Okay, so we can just create API payments create checkout session. You can call it any name. Okay, I can just name it like this. It doesn't matter. It could just be a API Stripe, maybe something. You can just like name it anything you want. Actually, the API Stripe checkout, create checkout session. Okay, let's go with that. I'm just going to go inside the app. I will just simply create this API payments. I think those are so many. I'm just going to say Stripe API. I will just say Stripe or API checkout, actually checkout. And then inside, I'll just put route.ts. Okay, I will just copy also this. This is our API. Endpoint is going to be here. So the endpoint is going to be created in here. So this side in here, I'm just going to say a try catch. If there is any errors, let's go ahead and console.log error. If there is no errors, we can just go ahead and put the price ID like that. Okay, so the first thing here is sending this. In this case, I'm just going to send only one thing. Okay, I'm just going to only send one thing. So I'm just going to basically copy this. Okay, in the try, you can, I think this is in the try catch. Okay, I'm just going to only send only one thing. So this one, you can extract the data if you wanted, just like the way here, or you could just say response and then you say response.data. In any way it works. So this one, let me make this function async function. Okay, and then we can install Axios. So npm install Axios. Npm install Axios. So you can just install Axios. Send the requests. Okay, so now here I'm just not going to send the user ID because I'm going to create a function that will get this the user ID and the email in the checkout side. So here I would only send this the price ID only like that. Okay. Okay, moving on is, so here we have API checkout, just like this, API checkout. There is nothing more. We are sending it to API checkout. We still have Axios, import Axios. Okay, so here you could just say import Axios from Axios, just like this. Okay. We have one error. I wonder where it's coming from. The toast. So for the toast, we're just going to use, as usual, React hot toast. So I'm just going to go here and I just say React hot toast. I'm just going to just simply get this one. First of all, npm is npm install React hot toast. I'm just going to install it. Npm install React hot toast, just like this. And then the only two things you need to do is this, copy this and take it to the layout here. Okay, just in any of these places, paste it, import the toaster. So you just say import toaster from, okay, React hot toast, I think. I'm not sure. Position, I think this is not importing it rightly, I guess. They just get, yeah, so just get like that. Toaster. So after adding this toaster now, okay, we can just like leave it like that. And then we can now use the toast wherever we want. So going back in this, while we have toast here, this can be toast dot, first of all, import the toast dot error, for instance. Okay, and for if there is any errors. Okay, so basically what is happening here, we are sending the price ID to the other side. Okay, and if the only thing we want, of course, is the session, as you can see from the data, we want the session ID, and from there we can create this await Stripe promise, and then when the Stripe promise you get Stripe here, then we can redirect to the checkout. This is how we redirect to checkout, as simple as this. It will do everything automatic. Now what we just need to do right now is going back to documentation. Okay, and now step number 6 is creating this endpoint. I'm just going to go here and copy this endpoint and just go to where we have created our API checkout here, just like this. Okay, now before we do a lot of things, you can just load your Stripe. Remember, we had the Stripe instance. Okay, of which again we are creating here. We might just not need. And make sure that the environment to this Stripe secret key, you have it by doing dot. Now this one will just give you the ones you have. Stripe secret key, for instance. Okay, you must make sure you have that one. Now from this, we are just having only the price ID from this request, just like this. Okay, so as you can see very well, we need the user ID, we need the also the email. Those two things, we need them. Now, you could just actually like you would have sent them from the other one, uh, from from the page here where we sent this here. Where is it? Where we sent the data here, this object, you could have sent the user ID and plus the the user ID plus the email. You could send them from here. Now, why I created or why let's say to create a lib of getting a current user is that you be using right now you're using Clark. In the future, you might be using Next or you're using anything else. So you would just be having only one place you are getting, for instance, a current user. So just say get current, for instance, current user.ts here. And we already have this. If you went to uh, if you went to Clark docs, okay, in the docs here, there is where you have like in the quick starts Next.js, you will see down here where you can just read the session. So there is server side, of which the one we want, which is getting the user in this way, right? You can just simply have this, the auth, and this where you get the whole entire user. So you could just get these two things like this. Okay, and to this function, I'm just going to have export a default function get current user. Okay, and this function we can access to these two things, auth and current user. Okay, so I don't need to do this. Okay, get the user ID from auth. Okay, just like this. And now what I don't know is on this user, make this async. So the good thing of doing it from here is that we are going to be having a harmonized object in the session. So here we could just say go ahead and return. So here we just go ahead and return. Okay, and return an object. So here we could just say just get the full name and everything we want. For instance, right now we want the user ID. So we could just say user ID, just like that, comma, and then we put the user email. Maybe we also call it user email. I don't know how you would want to call that. It's going to be getting from the user dot email addresses. So this is an array. You just get the first one and then dot email address, just like this. Okay. So you have now the user ID and this, and we are returning these ones out of this function. You could just like populate this with the image and so on, the full name, you can add more details here. For instance, if I wanted full name, like full name or username, for instance, username, say user dot username, yeah. And then you could also just have like first name, just like you create your object and you'll be using this. So even if you're using first name, and then last name, you just say user dot last name. And this one, I'm just going to name it as email. And oh, sorry, this one, I'm just going to name it as email. And this one, I'm just going to name it as ID, which is going to be user ID. Just like this. Very harmonized. So whether you're using whichever package, you will just simply get and populate this, and then we can now use this everywhere we want, getting the current user. For instance, in the route, we can just come here on top and we just say const user is equal get, and you say await. So you say await get current user, just like this. Now this one is going to give us, for instance, the user ID. So in the metadata here, we can pass in, you could just go ahead, and if you want to pass in this ID, here is going to be user dot, is there anything types? Okay, okay. It is not having types. I'm just going to give this, but I'm seeing the types here. It has the types and the user, and but for some reason, if I just say dot ID, unexpected. Okay, I'm just going to first of all get here const user ID is equal to user dot ID, and then const email is equal to user dot email. Okay, just like this. Of course, not commas. Okay, and then here we still have some issues. So this user and email and the price ID, they are all covered. Here we just simply put user ID. Okay, just like that. Okay, then this session. Okay, we have 6 errors I would want to see. This tray catch seems to have issues. Okay, I'm just going to come here and first cut this. Okay, are we good here? Yeah. So we have our price ID, and then we have these from the current user who is logged in. And then we can just go ahead and just do our try catch, just like that. And I'm just going to paste this try catch outside here. We get whatever we want out of this. First of all, get the session. So the session as if stripe.checkout.session.create. This takes in an object. Okay, just so there is this one is the problem. So I'm just going to copy this or just cut this function like this, cut it, and I'm just going to put it here. So for the next response, you can just get the next response from Next.js, and then also this here. So basically remove this and just add it here. Okay. So now there is a Stripe session. Seems like we need to create session. Why is create not there? Overload options, create, give string. Type string is not assignable to string or number now. I don't know why they're getting that. We could also just go to session create. Stripe session create, Stripe session create. Okay. So we first get the Stripe according to this, of which we have the Stripe instance. Stripe is, do we have Stripe? You have to first create the Stripe, of which we have it. You can just use either this, so, or you can just use the other one. So the Stripe itself is there. I know that it is just not having, it's not there. So Stripe is there. And let's just like try using the other formats. Try this here. Okay. So Stripe requires Stripe, and where we have this, just go ahead and put this process dot env dot Stripe secret key. So I think this is just like they're the same, but you can see actually the problem has gone if you use this Stripe here. Guys, yeah, I think you have noticed, if you use this, you see we have this session create a problem, but if you use this one, okay, then we actually have everything working. So you have the payment method, which is the card. Line items, we pass in the price and the quantity of one. So you can see the price is the price ID. Then metadata, we pass in the user ID, email, and the price ID. Anything you want actually here on the metadata, you can pass it. If you can just go ahead and read some of these things here, they tell you like the line items, what is supposed to be array of objects required unless setup mode. Then there is metadata, set of key value pairs that you can attach to an object. This can be useful for storing additional information about the object in the structured format. Individual keys can be an asset by passing an empty. So you can just like see the metadata. You can pass in the view key value pairs like user ID, email, and the price ID. So all these ones, they will create the keys. Then mode is subscription. Okay. Then the billing address, customer email is user.email. As you can see here, would have even put email because we already have it, email. Okay. And then success URL. Okay. So success URL, we need to, you can also, by the way, pass in the session ID in this. In the future, if you want to get the whole session, but I'm just also going to pass in maybe, for instance, you can also attach the You can also attach the session ID, and I just want to attach another one, which is going to be use ID. So for instance, use ID, which is going to be the ID, is going to be use ID actually. Do I need to attach that? Dollar use ID, just like this. You can also attach the this checkout session ID, just like this. So we have these two params, session ID and this use ID. So we need to have this next base, next public base URL. Make sure you also set this one, next public base URL. Just going to go ahead and create this, which is supposed to be localhost 3000. So you can just go to your env. I'm just going to first hide my. Okay, so now I'm just going to in the route here. I have this now. You can see it is localhost 3000, even this localhost 3000. So just need to create these two routes. Okay, it's not a must you just do the way we have done, but I'll just come here to the front and create those two, and those two folders, success and the cancel. So just come here, success, and then inside here, I'm just going to put the page .tsx, rfc, and then h2, and thank you for subscription. And then here you can just also just do another one, which is going to be the cancel. Okay, and then in the cancel, let's put sorry, maybe. Okay, we should just like design those ones maybe later on, but we just simply want to test. So now we can just have we have created those pages, the success URL and also this one. And on those pages, we can just go ahead and access these params. For instance, more especially onto this one, I would want to get, for instance, on the success, I would want to get the session ID. So you could just go here. I always have difficulties cramming this object from for Next.js. If you just go to the documentation, search for just params, and just params, go to the one of the page. So scroll down up here and just get these search params. So I'm just going to copy all these object. The search params have very complicated object, which I need to cram this search param here. So from these search params, for instance, we can just say const, and we can extract user ID and also the session ID. Session ID, the params is equal to the search params. And then we can also just have them here, a bracket, and you say, for instance, user ID, and then another one, which is going to be the session ID. So these ones we are just like trying to access here are the ones we are defining in here. So for instance, the session ID and the user ID. This is how you attach params more than one. The first one you put on this question mark, and then another one you can attach it using the and. Okay. Then if you want to, for instance, give the subscribers, you give them a trial period. That's why you commented out this part here. As I was making research, this is how you can add the data for trial period. Okay, you can just go ahead and just add this data for the trial period. I think this one needs one more extra. Okay, yeah. So there is this. You can add this to, if you want people to have a trial period of try it for 1 month or try it for 3 days, you can just pass in the trial period here like this. Okay. So this is fully set. If everything is okay, we return a response with the session ID. Okay, which is session.id. As simple as this. So we can just go ahead and test out this, but before that, you can also go ahead. So that one should just work. If right now we are right, I'm just going to refresh. I'm just going to go ahead and click on this one of 29. Now we need to add a processing. I'm just going to add that. Failed to create checkout session. Okay, that is like really. Can we check what the problem is? For instance, failed to create checkout session. You may test your Stripe.js integration of HTTP, blah blah. Error. Okay. So basically we have some problems. Okay, so let's just, first of all, I'm just going to go back to the pricing here, and let's check everything. Just slowly. Um, is this endpoint working? So we can just like test things, a few things like those ones. Just comment out all this. Okay, comment out all this, and let's just simply send this, and I will just get this as response. Okay, and then this one is going to be raise.data, just like this. So I just only want to see if I'm sending this correctly, and if also we have the user. So what I'm just going to do in the route also, I'm just going to first stop all this session thing. So what I just want to do is returning an object. Let me first comment out this. I will return, for instance, this. Can I return the user back so that we can just see return the. I'm just going to return the user. Okay, return the user. Just like this. So, and as we are sending also, I'm just going to create here. Go back to the pricing. Let's create a state const loading. Set loading is equal to use state I'm just going to pass in false. So when we come here, set loading to true, and okay, so you could just come here and just say if raise dot data, maybe we could just say set loading to false. Let's add this console inside. Also, if there is any error, also set loading to false. Okay. Now we just go here and to the plans where there is this button. I'm just going to replace it with the same button if loading. So here I'm just going to say if this is true, you can show this button and then show this. So you have two buttons. In the first one, we just want to say loading. And if you wanted, you could of course add the spinner, but I'm just not going to add a spinner. Just going to say processing dot dot, and then just make it disabled. So remove this one, click, and make it disabled. So someone cannot click it. Okay. As simple as that. Okay, so what we just need is to click and we see us making a response giving us back the object. I will click on any of these ones, click, so you see processing, and after a while we get back this object with first name, last name, ID, and everything. Okay, this is great. So it is working. The endpoint itself is working. Okay, and that is one step done very well. We can now create another step. Okay, now what we want is the session. Okay, we want to get the session if the session was set very well. We can now get dot data, and now you see if I say dot on this one is not giving us anything like that. So go to the route. This time let's try to create the session. So I'm just going to commit this just like so. Now this time we are just going to return. So let me just take off this one. Just going to return an object containing the session ID. So I just want to see if I can get the session ID in this side in the pricing page. So here we just need to get back this data dot, so you can see data dot session ID. I want console.log this. Okay, or just console the data as usual. So let me just go and see. So clear one more time, click processing, and error. Okay, so this is the error we are just like having the other side. So now we know very well that the error that is coming is actually this one. Okay, fail to create the session. Create the session, and where the problem where is the problem? I could just first go ahead and go to where we have this create session. Okay. Um, we could just go ahead and just say all the things you need to put here. So for instance, we can pass mode enum required the mode of checkout session, pass subscription if a checkout session includes at least one recurring item. So you can see we can pass in the mode, return URL. This one is back to after they authenticate and cancel their payment method, success URL. So more params. Okay, allow promotion code, for instance. If enable users redeemable promotion codes, we just remove this. There is no need. Okay. Automatic task billing address correction in specify whether the checkout should correct the customer's billing address. Defaults to auto. Okay, auto checkout will only correct the billing address when necessary. When correcting automatic task check, okay, cancel URL. Okay, I'm just trying to check the things we have here if all of them are necessary. For instance, the payment mode, payment method types, line items. If you look at the line items, okay, it is an object. So you text in an object containing the price ID, as you can see, price, which is a price ID, and then the quantity, which is this quantity. Okay. Metadata, we said you can pass in mode, billing address, auto, customer email. Let's see. Do we have customer email, for instance? Where do we get customer email? I'm not seeing it. Okay, there is customer update, but I'm not seeing the customer email. Can I just like remove this? Okay, now these others, they are all there. I think we should just be now good to go. Okay, so if it fails again, we should just like check this Stripe thing here. Okay, we shall check this. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and try to create one more time. Reload the page and let's create the checkout. Processing. Okay, we still have the same thing. Okay. Okay, let's just check now the Stripe we're using here. Okay, I'm not going to do this. There is one Stripe we actually use it. If I can just import this from the get Stripe. And if you just check in the one we have from lib, it is also using the new Stripe process, Stripe secret key. And you know, if you say Stripe secret key TypeScript 2, I don't know why we have an error. You can see on the create, it's saying overload. So whatever it is, it must be on this session create. Mm, type string undefined is not assignable. Type string or number now. Where do we get that now? Payment method types does not exist in the type request option. Okay, let's see on this. The only thing they have just passed is the mod. So trying to say this is not there actually. Hmm. Um, just make even this big. Right? Dot sessions.create. And first put back the other one, this payment method. Do we have it here? And the parameters, customer. So we have the customer actually. Yeah, even the customer email actually is there. So if this will used when customer object is created, if not, customers will be asked to enter their email address. So we just want to save that to the client. So we can just add the customer email. So this one actually is there, customer email, which is email. Okay. Line items, price IDs, and then we have metadata. We have mode, subscription, return, success. It seems like all the things we need, they are all actually there. So why are we having difficulties in making it work? Probably I'm just like predicting this thing, the Stripe. Mm, mhm. I'm suspecting this Stripe. I'm just going to again use this one. I don't know why for them they used this one, and for some reason when you use that one it works. Why? Okay, so if we just use now this one, for this one it works. I'm just going to go here, passing process. Actually, we just already have it here. We already have it down here. This and this. So we have these two. Hmm. We have these two, stripe.env, stripe secret key. And if we put that one, this error goes. So you wonder, mm, so here, this is the response we are getting. Can we just give back the whole entire error? So I'm just going to say, let's get the entire error actually. So in return, I'm just going to return the error also. Okay, there was, I think we are just getting it on this side, on the terminal. Let's get it on the other side so that we can read exactly what is the problem. So we are consoling the whole object. So I will also go back to pricing. Okay, we are consoling all the response, and even here we are consoling the error. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and try one more time, refresh, and let's delete all these, and let's click here. Okay, so now we have the error, but then it has all these stuff. Code URL invalid. They give even here this params success URL code URL invalid. I think we can go to this to see what this error means. Okay. So here they're saying that the URL provided is invalid. Which URL? The URL, what URL that is invalid? So let's just go back to the route. We have success URL. Is it because of this? It cannot, right? I don't think this can be the problem. Okay. Okay. If you just get the URL invalid, we could also search here on Google URL invalid Stripe error. Okay. API request fails, Stack Overflow, of course. Mm, yeah, just go here and we just say here I want to build blah blah. So URL right items success, and I think he has everything actually us. And then here when I make this request I get this invalid error. Two answers you need to add real success and the cancel. Please check below the below code. Okay, so they're trying to say our console URL and not really where. So a so the only thing I'm just going to add right now um, is the localhost. That's crazy. So I'm just going to go here and copy this. Okay, maybe actually this also maybe cause the problem. I'm not sure. Like I have, did I just made a mistake in my config? They just yeah. So the problem actually was had misspelled this. So you can see I had not put the slash on the HTTP localhost. I had not put this slash. I had HTTP just localhost without these two slashes. I think that's the problem. Let's check one more time. Okay, I think it is good that when the troubleshooting, both of us, and this time, yep. So this time we have the session, guys. Great. So we have the session. We have the session, guys. This time I'm just going to go to where? I'm just going to go to the back to the pricing, and let's comment some of these code here. So this here, okay. If so, all these ones now they are on raise, and even this is on raise response. Okay, so now we should just get back the session ID, and we use this session ID to actually to redirect. Okay. Okay, that's great. I'm just going to right now go to full screen and try this one of 99. Click. Oh, what is that? Um, hmm. Okay, the right thing came, but did you see that? Okay, so the good thing you can see now when you pass in the customer email, you can see the email is actually filled in for the customer. He only just like need to fill in on this one. So I'm just going to simply fill in 4242, 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, 42. So I think that's it. 11, 20, 28, 1, 2, 3. So card holder's name, you can just like put any name here, and then subscribe. And you can see subscribe to the company. So whatever you put. Okay, so you just here and thank you for subscription, and we have the user ID plus the session ID, as you can see here. So we have both the user ID and the session ID, which is really great. So the success URL is working very well to give us both the session ID plus the user ID. So of course on this page we can design it really nicely and so on and so forth. Okay, and if the person has now subscribed, there's one weird thing. When you click on the button, all the buttons are loading. Why? Okay, so we still need to have one more thing. At least at this point you still see you have this, so you could just use this and fetch the whole entire session. For instance, when you just come here and retrieve a session, so you see you can just get and retrieve the session. and you pass in the session ID, and you can just get these details. Okay, you can get these details like this here. Okay, great. So in this, after you have made this checkout, of course, you could just go ahead and create a schema for your database. For instance, you could create a payment thing, and you're just going to say you can just do the payment thing in the webhook. So we can set up a webhook handler that is going to respond to this session. Okay. So every time someone clicks on the session, it can respond. It will just be listening. And if a user successfully purchases the subscription, and then it can trigger, you can trigger it, and you have all the data about the user and everything. So here they say when the user successfully completes the checkout process, Stripe will send a webhook event to a webhook event handler, which is an API endpoint on our server that will handle these events by updating our database. So you can just like have a database with a payment where you have the user ID, the plan they have taken, and all that information, and then you save it to the DB. And then here, so there are so ways of setting up the webhook. Okay, and there are so many ways they're setting up a webhook, and they said you can just do Stripe login and Stripe listen forward to this, and they said this one can be used to test this, but we can just also search here. We're just going to search for Stripe webhook. Okay, so the webhooks are here. Why use webhook? Events object. So this event object gives you all this information. Okay, you can get this information just like this event object and all that. Okay, so get started. So let's for this. So create a webhook endpoint handler to receive the end data request. So we can create that one in this documentation. You can see that you can create a webhook, for instance, API webhooks, and then you will put this. Just going to copy this, and I will just go to back to the API. So we have API checkout. I can just create another folder here, and I just say webhook. You know, if you have like many webhooks, you could just like put webhooks, then Stripe and blah blah. I just say webhook, and I'm just going to say route. So inside here, I'm just going to create in route.ts. Just paste everything here. So we have webhook, API webhook. And this one, you're going to see that it has get Stripe, and then it gets this. We need to have this, the Stripe secret webhook key. Now, how to get it? If we go back here, you can see that test your webhook endpoint handler locally using the Stripe CLI. Okay, register your endpoint with Stripe using the dashboard or the API. So you have to register secure your webhook endpoint. So you can see here, create the handler. they have given you how to create the handler. Here, I think you can even choose, this is a node. I think you can even choose, yeah, node, I guess. It will just look like this, test your handler. Okay, so you can see here, and to forward events to your local, run the following command, set up this, send Stripe events in the test mode to your local webhook if you want to do this. I don't know whether you're supposed to use this code. Okay, and you can also listen to events like this. I'm just going to first go to the Stripe dashboard. So if you just go here and search for webhooks, okay. So you can just let's add endpoint, the endpoint URL, and I don't know if this because the one you put here is supposed, I think, to be hosted, the version of the hosted, because set a endpoint to receive the events from Stripe. There is the one for testing. I think this one is okay. Let's first put here the one of localhost. I don't know. Just copy here. Not going to make another mistake that costed that a lot of time to figure out. Paste here, just like this. This is the test webhook. Okay, so events on your account, I think that's okay. And then the current version is this one. You can select the events you want, I guess. If you just click on this, you can just say select all events. Okay, you can see, you can select all the events. There are so many, I think, so many events. There is you can see account, balance, billing portal, capability, check balance, checkout, climate coupon, credit note, customer. So they are like, I think, a lot of events. Okay. But I think there are some which are important events, because yeah, if you look at this is crazy. We cannot just take all these events. We can just like check maybe some. Okay, if you check here on this endpoint, there are like some endpoints, as I was looking at the events you need, um, they are related to the session. Checkout.session complete, say payment succeeded. Okay. Mm, so for instance, these ones, account related, select all accounts, account updated, external, blah blah. These we could just check this. Balance. So you could just like go through these. Okay, and I think for us we just listen for few. We can just select all, but then we say just going to click on this. Oh, and this time I don't know why we are having only few selected. Okay, So you can see here they did for you this if statement here, but we are not going to copy for all these endpoints. Okay, just add events. Okay, I think you have to first add events, and then after adding the event, you can just go ahead and they have added all the events. You can, I think, go through and remove all what you don't need. I can see transfer reverse, transfer created, succeeded, blah blah. We could just go ahead and remove all these ones, I think, but I'm just going to leave all and just add the endpoint. Okay, did the endpoint add or they gave us? Okay, so invite URL must be publicly accessible. Consider a tool like Stripe to say, so okay, if you want to this one, the endpoints you put here, they must be hosted. If you want to test with this one, you must host your application, then you put the hosted URL. Otherwise, that's why they just tell you to test these in local development. We can test them using this. So just going to test them using this by creating this endpoint that this has transaction like transaction details. As you can see, you can get all these, for instance, the user ID of the person who paid, the price ID, the time the payment was created, the currency, and the customer details plus the amount that was paid. So you can just go ahead and get these transaction details and then save this in your database. Okay, I will just use this. This is just to show you how we are setting it up, but I will just make implement this in the Doctor app in the coming video, so you will just maybe see it in action. Okay, so here you can just like update your database here, but I want to just show you how they set it up. You put here, you add the endpoint just like so, and then we can add the events. Okay, now for the local, they're saying we use this. Okay, so Stripe login, forward the event to your webhook, localhost, and then I don't know if you just have to do Stripe API webhook. Okay, let me just first to do this. So before I finish, I want return not new response. I just want to first of all to go ahead and console.log. Okay, so this one would go to the database. So I just want to go ahead and console.log the transaction details so that we just know that this was fired. Okay, and the events here, we are just only targeting the completed, if the checkout is completed and the payment succeeded. Only these two events, if they are successful, we go ahead and get all this data. And then, and by the way, you can just see that we need this key that will give us the key after the forwarding, I guess. So I'm just going to go down here to the terminal. Okay, let me go to the terminal and clear this. Okay, so I'm just going to do Stripe login. Okay, so you say your pairing is this pairing code verifies your authentication with Stripe. Press enter to open the browser. So this is authenticating. Allow access. So access, you may now close this window and return to the CLI. Okay, so I've closed it. I've returned here. So please note this key will expire after 90 days. So they give us the key. Okay. So they just say here that the Stripe CLI configured for you account ID. So I don't know if this account ID is going to be the Stripe. Let me just say here in the documentation. After running this command, Stripe should provide you with a webhook secret. Make sure to copy it, and so just going to keep this as the Stripe webhook secret key. I guess this one. Okay, I will just go here. I will add this Stripe webhook secret key, and I'm just going to copy this one. Okay, just like this. I will now go ahead and close this out. So I've just copied this to be the webhook key. Okay, and now if we continue with here, so now we can forward. So you can see they are saying here, if you see completed, logged in, forward events to your webhook. So you can just say Stripe listen. Okay, we just want to forward to this webhook and trigger events. Okay, just going to trigger event, for instance, forward this. Let's just go ahead and do this. So you think we have to pass in our localhost. So let me just say localhost 3000 and then API, then webhook. I don't know if that's all supposed to be just like this. Stripe listen forward to localhost 3000 webhook, API webhook, and that's it. So connecting a new version of Stripe. Oh, so a new version of Stripe CLI available. Please update. Ready. You are signing. You're using a Stripe API version of this. Your webhook signing in secret is this one. Okay. So this is now the actual key. Okay. Going back to the MV here, the webhook key is now this one. Okay. So now you can just say Control C to quit. I'm just going to quit this. I just want to quit. Okay. And you can see also completed listening for events. Now trigger event with the CI. For instance, we can trigger this one. Let's trigger Stripe trigger, copy. Let's trigger and first of all, make sure this Stripe webhook secret is what we are using in in this webhook, you can see Stripe, and then here we have the endpoint secret, processor.env Stripe secret webhook key. And if I just do this, let's get the actual one we are using. Copy Stripe webhook secret, go back to the route and just use it here like this. Okay, process.env Stripe webhook secret, as simple as that. Okay, so this one is used headers.get Stripe signature. You can see when you're just making now getting the event, you have to pass in the body, the signature, and the endpoint, and the API secret. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and trigger this one. Okay, so at the end of the day, what we just need to see is going to be having a console here that is having our stuff. So I'm just going to go here on the new terminal and let's trigger that. This. So Stripe trigger payment intent succeeded. So here, this is just like someone has paid successfully. So checking, please update the version. Okay. So they're saying here, setting up a fixture for payment intent, running fixture, trigger succeeded, check dashboard for event details. Okay, we can also check here and we see if there is anything. This side we don't have. We just need to see test. I'm just going to see here. I'm just going to go back to the localhost now. Let's go back to the pricing, and I'm just want to trigger now a payment. Okay, I'm just going to put 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, just like this. Just 20, 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to subscribe. Okay, so it was successful and we have that. Okay, I think we cannot see this event being triggered because the only way you can just trigger use in the development is by using this this one, the method they gave us here. Okay, we can see for instance payment intent succeeded. That is the one we are testing. Okay, I think that's the only way you can we can test ours, by using only this one. And they said we can just going to say done. Okay, there is even events here. Okay, so you can see here a checkout session was completed. Okay, a checkout session was completed. I'm just going to trigger another one and see. Just come here and I'm just going to trigger this. Clear here. And let's go ahead and trigger again. Just like this, checking, running. Trigger succeeded, check the dashboard for the event. So here you just don't check from the local host here because this one is not currently working, but you can check from here. Let's refresh. Okay, So you can just see here we have an event, a 20 payment for this. Okay, was updated, succeeded. So we have all these. Okay, the ones we are trying all previously. Okay, want to see the newest. I don't know. Are they like going 458, 450? These ones they look like they are for. I think this time is not aligning with mine. Is UTC, I think. Yeah, but you can see that the trigger for these payments they're there. Okay. We have these and these ones working. Yeah. So you can just go ahead and set up a very nice subscription this thank you page. Okay, if we wanted, we could just go and copy the one we used last time in the checkout. It has it had these thank you pages. I don't know where they are. The success page. That was this success page here. Okay, you can just go ahead and have the success page. I'm just going to see success. Okay, so here on the return, just going to copy on the return the div. So I'm just going to put this here like this. Okay, so just going to say here, thank you for subscribing. Okay, just like this. You still have your session if you want to use it. Okay, check status, or you could just say maybe go to dashboard, or you could even just like redirect them to the dashboard. Okay, just like that. We have also the cancel page. We don't have the cancel page. I think we don't have the cancel page. We just copy the same thing. Okay, or on the subscription, we can just go to the cancel page and we could just come here in this text. I'm just going to say read. The same thing. Order was cancelled. Order was cancelled. Okay. The order was cancelled, and also this. And maybe here you could just say try again. I don't know. And then this one. We are sorry. Uh, sorry. You can try again later. Okay, just like this. Just go ahead and test the last test here so you can see the thank you page. Okay, I don't know, we don't need this pg, just remove this. Okay, and let bg. Do I also need this bg white? Also remove that. Okay, and there is now this I don't know why it is not reflecting. Okay, so definitely something is not right. Okay, you can see I've got this and still is giving that. So I'm just going to put back this, and I will just leave this one with its BG white. Okay, so we're just going to try again to go to the pricing. So just going to test now for the cancel. So if we just go this, now this thing of processing is, so I'm just going to try to cancel. Okay, so you can see here you have this when order was cancelled. Okay, so we're changing actually, I think, the cancel page. So for this, remove this. Okay, so the order was cancelled. Yeah, sorry, you can try again later. So that is okay. So now, and then the icon that is here, we could post the X icon. Just go to receipt and get the appropriate icon. Maybe like a warning. Okay, so it is triangle alert. Give it the same class. Make it red. I'm just going to go ahead and remove this. The same thing to the success. Okay, so this is the success. The success is supposed to put check. I'm just going to copy this. This one, we're just going to check. Put the check and test green. In the console page, this is going to be the triangle alert. Okay, so if I just go back here, we have this. And this also, we can put this in BG red. Yeah, so that this was cancelled. So let's go back to the pricing. Now, this button, the fact that it is having the state, it is all showing loading during that time. Is that okay? Okay, I think we could just like not necessarily just need to put in something here. You could just like put something else like a model, something that can come and show that there is a processing that is happening. Okay, so for instance, we could just say in the pricing that if instead of doing what we did here, okay, and stayed here like this. So this one is showing on all buttons, which actually is true. So I'm just going to go here. Okay, and just like this. Okay. Now we could just like go below here and you put the processing maybe after this section. So I'm just going to say after this grid somewhere, this. So you could just put the padding Y of maybe 4, and then here you could just say processing. Just say if loading, and then just a second. So if loading is true, then we can just add, see, if loading, then we are adding this button that says loading. Yes, maybe processing. Please wait. Just like that. Let's just go and first make it true and we see. So here, just make it true. Let's just see it. Processing, please wait. Because there is no way we can just like add on just one thing or something. Or you could just even just like put an indicator. Just this is good enough. I'm just going to add this in the text center. Okay. And maybe we could just make it a different one. We could just go to shard get button and get the loading one, just like this. So just get this in here like that. Get this button, get this icon, just like this. Okay. If you go back, you can just see here processing. Uh, Please wait. Okay. So that's yeah. So this one is good enough, and I'm just going to now test for the last time. You can just go to Stripe, make this one false again. False. Okay. Okay, great. So I'm just going to simply go ahead and select one of these ones. Let me just go with 99. So you can see processing, please wait. You could even just add brought like an overlay or something, or even display a different component altogether. Okay, so you see we have this. Just put 42, 42, 42, 42, just like this. Add 20, then 28, 1, 2, 3. Put any name here, and then subscribe. Okay, so all these ones you'll be having the subscriptions, and yeah, So you can say thank you for subscribing. Um, you can just go to the dashboard. So yeah, this is really great. We have implemented the subscription, and it was really nice navigating how we did this. The most important things, there are three. The first one is this pricing component here. Okay. The second one is the checkout endpoint. Okay, the one we did in the API checkout. This one. And the third one that you will see in production is actually the webhook. So this one works only in production. Okay. Works only in production, but this is how you handle it, and you have all the events that you can use to create or update your database. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.